So what we're going to do is subtract 2x and divide by 4. So 2 divided by 4 is a half. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So what that means is my y-intercept is at negative 1/2, 2. Then I'm going to go down 1 for my slope and over 2. Is my line going to be solid or dashed?
Dash.
Okay, good. So the line is dashed. Remember, all lines have arrows. So you need to make sure you have your arrows on the outside. And then, are we shading above or below? Below. Because y is less than, so y is less than below.
So if it's less than, it's below. If it's greater than, it's above.
Correct. Okay. And then number 2. What's nicer about number 2 than number 1 is it's already in y equals mx plus b form. So all we have to do is plot our y-intercept. So again, my y-intercept is positive 5. And then my slope is negative 2. So now it's the opposite of that slope. That went down 1 over 2. This goes down 2 and over 1. This line is greater than or equal to, so that means the line is included in my solution. Therefore, my line is solid.
Do you have to make the points go up through the entire graph?
No.
Only 5 like last time?
Yeah. And then y is now greater than. So if it is greater than, we shade Is 0, 0 a solution to this graph?
No.
Is 10, 10 a solution to the graph?
I hate those. I'm sorry. I cannot stand it.
Yes.
It's just a stink bug.
No, I was gonna throw it away. Hey, walk out there. Yeah, walk out.
Don't. I'm just taking up extra tissue. Oh my gosh.
You're making this so much
Now you made it fly.
Oh my god.
You made it fly. It's gonna come at Ryan. He's gonna die. Where'd you find it?
Yeah, I know where it is.
Oh. Oh, yeah, here it is. There you
Just
go. Put it in Ryan's backpack.
I promise I'll kill you.
Just grab it. Quickly. There you go. And go throw it in the hallway with the girls.
Okay, then I'm just gonna crawl out of there.
Yeah, you probably will. But
It's fine. It's just a stink bug.
He probably likes it.
Hey, Ryan, throw off your shirt, bro.
Actually,
All right, go ahead and now turn in your notes to the actual notes that we are supposed to start for today. Okay, so that's 2-8 Inequalities, Day 2. You have 1, 2, and 3 at the top of your page. So, this is basically a summary of everything we've already said. The steps to graph linear inequalities are as follows. graph the line based on y equals mx plus b. If it is less than or greater than with no equal to's, the line is dashed. If it is less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, the line is solid. If it is less than or equal to, you shade below. And if it is greater than or equal to, you shade above. That is like the key information from that blurb. Well, let's do some graphing. Y is greater than 3 halves x plus 1. 1 is my y-intercept. So we put a big point on my y-intercept. Now I apply the slope. You go up 3 and over 2. Or down 3 and left 2. Because it is greater but not equal to, my line is dashed. And because it is greater, I shade above. Once again, if I picked a 0, 0 as my test point, should it be true or false? Because it is outside of the shaded region. So if you plugged in 0, 0, we get 0 is bigger than 1. Is 0 bigger than 1? No, so it is false. So we are happy because that's what we predicted, because 0, 0 is not in my shaded region. Therefore, 0, 0 should be false. Number 2, solve for y. You have to have y on the left by itself to follow the rules I gave you above. You have to have y on the left by itself to follow the rules I gave you above. So we have to isolate the y. So we subtract 4x. And then divide by 2. When you divide by 2, you divide every single piece by 2. So y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 2. Start with your y-intercept. My slope is negative, which means my graph will go. Is my line solid or dashed? Do I shade above or below?
You know what this reminds me of?
I don't.
The song Down Below by Rodney Ricch. I'm not even saying that to be funny. It just actually does.
All those little dots I just drew in are all what? Solutions. Fantastic. You did. Algebra 1. So, like, this is the last lesson of chapter 2. In chapter 3, we do this again, but we do 2 graphs. And then you have to find where they overlap.
Is it like an absolute value type of thing?
What?
Is it like an absolute value type of thing where like we also like make like another equation to make it negative or whatever?
No. I don't think so. We are dropping absolute values in like a day or so with these. Yeah. Our textbook is kind of goofy. Like
Well,
it,
and also USC is literally a ranked high school in the country. So they're definitely way ahead of us.
No, actually my physics class is way ahead of us.
here.
Yes. That's because there's like.
Well, were you an AP over there though?
No.
Yeah, that's the difference. 'Cause we only offer AP here, right?
AP physics?
Do we have academic physics?
Yeah, we have
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, we're in IT.
I didn't know it was academic. I thought all our physicses were AP. Like I thought it was AP 1. Like I didn't know there was like an academic one. I just.
I want to see what your shirt says.
What's your physics class called?
It's AP 2.
But she's saying you're not in an AP.
I'm not.
See, they have a regular physics. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Sorry, yeah. Yes, there is.
What?
I took it last year. They allowed me to skip it.
Stop confusing me. All right, what's the y-intercept?
0.
Exactly.
Thanks so much for the positive answer.
What's the slope? That's a-
I think you go up 3.
Is my line solid or dashed?
Solid.
Above or below? I love when my board works. It makes me so happy. I fixed it, though, didn't I? Okay, number 4. This one is really goofy. The y is on the left. The x is this division by 3. We got to rearrange it to look like we want it to look. X divided by 3 is the same. What?
You don't do anything with the fraction, right? You just move it.
Correct. But what I was going to say is x divided by 3 is like the same as saying 1/3 times x.
Oh.
What hope? Okay? So then what we're going to do is solve for y. And in order to do that, I'm just going to switch the x and the y. So I'm going to add y to the left because y needs to be on the left. And subtract 1/3 x to the right. So I have y on the left and subtracting 1/3 x on the right. What is my y-intercept? What is my slope?
-3rd.
Okay, so that tells me that I'm going to go what to what?
Down 1 and
Over 4.
right.
Or
I wasn't sure at first if you were like messing with me, so I would graph it wrong. Is my line solid or dashed? Above or below?
Oh yeah, because
I wrote it.
this would be the first time this year I know that I'm doing like 100%.
Well, then you'll be happy to know there's only a little bit more to the lesson before our quiz.
Wait, like our quiz is just gonna be this stuff?
And absolute values.
Give me that 8+ then. I'm working it now.
Alright, your homework. So you're going to skip the next page because that's the notes we're going to do next. Your homework is 1 through 6. So again, not doing the word problems. So 1 through 6.
are we just skipping the one page down?
Correct, because we're going to skip